Pablo Picasso, getting to know the world's greatest artists. This is Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso is one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. He was born in Malaga, Spain in 1881 and died in France in 1973. This is a photograph of him in his studio. Picasso's father was an art teacher at the local school. He encouraged his son to paint and draw. He wanted Picasso to become a great artist someday. I think we have a great artist on our hands. I think we have a great mess on our hands. A little of both. Picasso's painting style changed over the period of his life more than any other great artist. He was always trying new and different things. These two paintings were done by Picasso. They're quite different, aren't they? How old do you think he was when he painted this picture? How old do you think he was when he painted this picture? The painting above was done when he was only 15 years old. This painting was done when he was 57. There's quite a difference between the two paintings, isn't there? He was very good, very young. Do you know what was invented around when Picasso was about 15? The camera, the photographic camera. So a painting like this would have taken a few years to create because of the detail and the oil paint having to dry. The camera can create lifelike detail pretty quickly, almost instantly. And so paintings like this, which took many years, became less valuable. And artists started to wonder, what was the point? If you could take a photo and be pretty realistic within minutes, why spend years creating a realistic painting? So artists started to figure out what else painting could do. When Picasso was 19, he left Spain and went to Paris, France. Some of the first paintings he did there look a little bit like the work of other famous French artists. This painting reminds many people of the work done by Toulouse-Lautrec. Some of Picasso's other early paintings reminded people of Van Gogh, Gauguin, and Monet. But then something happened. Picasso's paintings changed. His work became different than anyone else's. His best friend died, and Picasso felt alone and sad. At the same time, none of his paintings were selling, and he was almost starving to death. Because of his mood, Picasso began to paint with lots of blue. Blue can be a very sad color. He made all of the people in his paintings look lonely and sad. What do you see? What do you notice? Some people thought Picasso's blue paintings were great. Others, including Picasso's father, thought they were just too strange. This meant his paintings were controversial. It's great. Look at the expression in the hands. Why is everything blue? Everything isn't blue. It's wonderful. No one's ever painted like this. Why is he blue? People aren't blue. Why is the guitar blue? Guitars aren't blue. It's the work of a genius. It's the work of a nut. Picasso's blue period ended when he met a girl named Ferdinand, and Ferdinand and Picasso fell in love, and soon a happier color started showing up in Picasso's paintings. This was the beginning of the Rose period. Not only were Picasso's colors happier during the Rose period, but he started painting happier things too. Picasso painted a lot of circus people during this time, and he often painted them with their animals. Cubism was the next style of painting that Picasso developed and made famous. This is a Cubist painting of one of Picasso's friends. The man in the painting looks like he's been broken up into little cubes. That's where the name Cubism comes from. Look closely. Can you see the man's face? What he is wearing? His hands? A bottle? A glass? And maybe his pet cat? Can you find anything else? Cubism is one of the most important periods of modern art. For hundreds of years, artists tried very hard to paint things so they would look real. Then Picasso came along and started to paint people and things that didn't look the way that they were supposed to look. Picasso was always shocking people, but when he started painting people who had eyes and noses in the wrong places, well, even some of his closest friends thought that he had gone too far. Always remember, Picasso, a good painting must look like wonderfully real, just like mine. Where do you get your ridiculous ideas? Weird. I think they're getting their noses out of joint over nothing. Picasso kept working with Cubism and changed it over the years. It became much more colorful and flatter looking. It also became easier to see what Picasso was painting. In the painting The Three Musicians, you can see the three musicians and tell the instruments they're playing. In another style that popped up for a while, Picasso painted people who looked more real again. Picasso had visited Rome, a city filled with statues and monuments. In 1937, something happened that made Picasso paint his most powerful and serious painting. During a civil war that was going on in Spain, the small town of Guernica was destroyed by bombs. Thousands of innocent people were killed or injured. Picasso became very angry and used everything he knew to make a painting that would show the world how foolish the war was. He named the painting after the town that was destroyed. Picasso used darker colors, cubism, and lots of expression to get his angry feelings across in this painting. He also used size. This painting is huge. It's 12 feet high and 25 feet wide, as long as the classroom and as high as the ceilings. It's gigantic. If I were to stand in front of the person, I would be as big as my finger right now if I was standing at the foot here, because this is 12 feet tall. Mrs. Miller's about, well, maybe that tall. Okay, but still, very, very big. Many of Picasso's paintings look funny because of the way he moved his eyes, noses, and chins around. The amazing thing about these paintings is how much they look like the real person. Look at the painting of Picasso's best friend, Jamie Sabretis, on the opposite page. Does it look like the same man shown in the painting below? So this is a painting, and this is a painting, and both of these are the same guy. And yes, it's all mixed up. Like the chin is going that way, and the mouth is going this way, the nose is going that way, and he's tipping his head. But if you use your eyes, you can kind of see those different parts. He says, I hate to see how I would turn out if I weren't his best friend. The thing that made Picasso such a great artist was his originality. He had the imagination to try new and different things through his entire life. Picasso lived to be 91 years old. He was a great painter, but he was also great at other things too. He made sculptures, prints, drawings, beautifully colored dishes and bowls, and even made costumes for scenery and plays.